Hi, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural edition of PTIsles, our all-new All-Islanders panel show presented by IslesBlog. I'm Joe Buono at jbono611, and with me today, joining us from the sunshine state of Florida, the man behind IslesBlog, the maestro, the man without a tan, Mr. Connor Moire. Connor, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. I'm not as white as you think, man. I have a pretty decent tan, but the lighting in here, the lighting crew kind of screwed up a little bit.
Well, luckily the lighting allows us to see your facial hair, so we appreciate that. And also with us, the ever-witty, the ever-talented, wearing her lucky Islander PJs. I don't think she's taken them off since the 4-game winning streak. It's Brittany Sider. Britt, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. So here's how it's going to work. We have our topics down the left-hand side of the screen so everyone can follow along. So let's start right at the top. So with Yes We Can. So our very own Connor Moire reported this yesterday on IslesBlog that the team in the ticket office had been receiving calls on basically a weekly basis now about the new Yes chant after goals. Obviously this comes from Daniel Bryan for people that follow World Wrestling Entertainment, the former WWE champion that's kind of out with an injury right now. So obviously everyone knows now that I do follow wrestling. The story was everywhere today, even picked up by our friends at Barstool Sports. So, Sider, let's start with you. Yes or no to the Yes chant at the Coliseum?
That's what I got for you.
That's a definitive yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Connor, is this just a matter of the younger generation versus the older generation and fans right now? I mean, I can't imagine a 25-year-old picking up the phone and complaining about the Yes chant.
That's pretty much how I see it. I think it's just Islanders fans are known for, you got to look for something to piss you off. A couple weeks ago it was Matt Martin. The week after that it was Buono. A week after that it was Halak. And Islanders starting to win and kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel on something to piss you off. Hey, if they're getting mad about how we're celebrating goals, I'll take that any day.
And Brittany, do you think it has legs? Do you think the Yes chant could stay the entire season? Is this just an early October, November type of thing, or is this going to be here for the rest of the year, you think? I mean, you were there on Tuesday night.
I mean, I was there on Tuesday. I was there for the home opener. It's just picking up steam, and if we can carry it through in November, we can definitely carry it through April, May, June. So
if they're playing April, May, and June, no one, and I mean absolutely no one, is going to care.
No, not at all.
They're chanting yes. And I think, Connor, you did a great job on the blog. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out the story. That this hasn't been just used by the Islanders. Yeah, we know it's in wrestling, but other teams, other college crowds, they've used it as well.
San Francisco Giants had Daniel Bryan at a game in the playoffs start the game off with the chant just to get everyone hyped. I mean, this isn't just an Islanders thing. This is taking over a lot of different sports.
And if they win the World Series and that helped them, who are we to complain?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, let's go down to the next one. Halak down. Now, first off, I had to get express written consent from Brittany Sider to use that because that is her trademark and copyright. The guy could give up 4 goals, and she will use that on Twitter, Halak down.
You gotta stick to your guns.
That's her thing. So he has 2 consecutive shutouts, a 6-0 win over the Avs on Tuesday. The Islanders now haven't allowed a goal in 181 minutes, 11 seconds. You have to go back to the first period of the Kings game. So to put that in perspective, the Godfather, the first one, is 178 minutes long. So you could watch the entire Godfather, and the Islanders would still not give up a goal. In fact, the Islanders are now just 10 minutes and 13 seconds away from breaking the franchise record, and they'll go for that on Friday night in Connor's backyard in Florida against the Panthers. But Connor, how did this remarkable defensive turnaround begin? They were giving up 4 goals a game, it seemed like, for a while.
Key to it is keeping Bryan straight off of the ice. No, I kid. But when you look at the past couple of things, I think it's 4 or 5 games, it's been games where the team's definitive top 6 defensemen have been playing. You saw Lubomir Visnovsky go down earlier in the season. He came back. Hamonic went on to the IR. And you just haven't seen that group play to the top potential. Now that they're all together, Halak's kind of came out of his beginning of the season slump. Everything's starting to click, and you're seeing this team put up. Scoring's not there from the beginning of the season, but they're stopping a lot of shots and keeping that puck out of the net, and that's what you need.
And we'll go to Brittany expertise in this next question I have for her. But everyone knows the dun-dun chants at the Coliseum. And I don't think Islander fans know what to do with Yaro Halak. It sounds like a mishmash of a bunch of words, so you tell me, are they going Halak, or are they going Yaro, or something, some kind of mix mash?
I hear the Yaro Halak situation happening, which is kind of typical for Islanders fans as much as I love us. It's pretty typical. It's just what I'd expect, but when I was at the game and Joe, you were with me at the game on Tuesday.
I was.
Trying to figure out what was coming from where, and it doesn't really seem like we've come up with something. Maybe we should draft up a little Mets letter to our most loyal fans explaining what kind of chant we're going to do. But I think we should be more concerned about that than we are this awesome yes.
I know, we got to get that right. I mean, Islander fans have been very fortunate to get somehow every single goaltender, whether it be DP or Doobie for Dublowitz, they figure out a way to do that. Right now, struggling with Yaroslav Halak. Even Johnson's got the dun-dun Johnson. We'll see if they get that squared away. Moving down the list to our next topic, Jiggy with it. That refers to Jiggs McDonald, the Islanders on a remarkable run, a tremendous run, with the Hall of Fame broadcaster in the booth. Since he's been filling in for Howie Rose the last week, the Islanders continue to win. Connor, I know you got some numbers for us. How good have the Islanders been with Jiggs McDonald behind the mic?
It's the stat that everyone's been throwing out since the last game, 14-1-3 in his last 18 games called. I mean, I'm a young dude. I never got to see Jiggs call him in his heyday, so all I know is Jiggs calling the game, Islanders are coming out with a W, so I'm not complaining.
And Brittany, do you think now it might be time that the Islanders think of a three-man booth? Do we have to keep Jiggs in here some way, somehow?
You broke up there. You want to repeat that question?
I said, do we have to figure out a way to keep Jiggs in the booth some way, somehow, you think, right now? I mean, can we just let him go? Or what if we lose 2 in a row?
I mean, I don't know. We got to see how this Words with Butch situation pans out. You know, I don't know. Like, Words with Butch, if that works out, I'm going to go with Butch, because I just think hearing him say things like Halak down in the middle of a broadcast would make my life, regardless of their winning streak. However, if the Words with Butch doesn't work out, maybe Jiggs and his winning streak can find its way in there pretty seamlessly.
You know, Connor, I was at the game on Tuesday. What word did Butch end up saying? I didn't actually see that anywhere.
They didn't even mention it once. They didn't bring it up once throughout the entire night.
What?
And I give credit to all the trolls that are on Twitter right now, throughout Isles Twitter, that completely just bombarded them with a lot of not safe for work words that they just did away with it completely.
I mean, I could understand that, but I'm sure there were 1 or 2 decent ones that you could have picked from to just keep it going.
Sunday morning, I trolled through the hashtag just to see what was out there, and it was slim pickings if they really wanted to put something out in the air, to be honest.
Yeah, you know why that was? Because I was not tweeting during that game. Had I been tweeting during that game, it would have just been like, I got those things on Halak.
By the way, if you want to see someone get nervous, hang out with Brittany while her battery life starts to die on her iPhone.
Oh, God.
Because she starts sweating, she gets very concerned. Anything below 65%, and she's doing anything she can. She's looking for outlets. She's willing to do whatever she can to get some juice. But
that's the kid who's in airplane mode the entire time.
I mean, listen, don't
airplane mode.
That's the way to go. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the guy behind the bench, the much maligned Jack Capuano. So obviously, for some fans, Jack Capuano was already on the hot seat this season. I want to start off 6-2, not 6-2, but playing high-scoring games, not very sound defensively. Then they lose 3 in a row. They're 6-5, and everyone wants Jack Capuano gone. It's going to be another November swoon. He's not the guy to take them to the next level. Now, after this 4-game winning streak, seeing how the Islanders kind of met adversity and not only got through it, but excelled through it, Connor, is it time that everyone just lets Jack Capuano be, let him do his thing and see where it goes?
I think it's the perfect time for that. You got about a third of the team is all fresh faces, guys who weren't here last year. Both your goalie tandems are new guys on the team. You gotta give Jack some space to let everything pan out. He might not know what he's doing right now, but you gotta give him some time to try and learn and figure out what he's doing with a new team, a young team, a team that finally is set to win and win big. Just give Capuano some space. Let him breathe. Let him breathe.
Listen, I mean, the other night someone asked me if I think that Capuano is going to be the coach to take them to the playoffs, and if they get to the playoffs, actually go for a good run. And all I have to say is that if he is the coach to do it, this is the year to do it. Everyone's throwing depth around. We've had such deficits over the past couple of years at goaltending and D-line, power play, PK, you name it. Every year we've had a massive weakness, and you cannot go to the playoffs, have a decent run without a solid goaltender. And this is the year. If Capuano can do it, this is it. So I say we sit back, let him work his magic if he has any, and then after we can really evaluate whether or not. You can't evaluate that right now. See what happens. He has the team to do it. He has the depth. Given they stay healthy, I think he can do it.
I'm interested to see what people...
I was going to say, a manager or a coach is only measured by their expectations. And, he's had the job over the last couple of years, exceeded expectations getting into the playoffs in 2013 during the lockout season. And then last year really missed expectations. But obviously the Islanders had some injuries. When Tavares goes out at the Olympics, then pretty much he was given a free pass for last year as well. Now, what are expectations, Connor, for the Islanders? Because right now at 10-5, I think Islander fans are feeling, yeah, we're going to make the playoffs. But what if it's another first-round exit? I mean, there's been, this team's been to the playoffs since 92, 93, but they haven't gotten past the first round. The closest they got was at Game 7 in 2002 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What point, if this Islander season ended, at what point would it end for you to be satisfied that it was a good season at this point?
I'm not big on setting expectations in life or with the Islanders themselves, but if you're really forcing me to put something on, I like to go day by day, game by game, day by day, week by week. But if you need to put a definitive title on it to call this season a success, I'd say at least make it out of the first round. I mean, you saw everyone knows the infamous Pittsburgh series where if we had a better goaltending, it could have been a totally different series. Islanders could have made a much better case than they already did.
You're bringing back bad memories for Brittany.
I know. I
behind the glass.
She just took her hair and just
at the glass. I was there. I had a no diving sign. I was all over it. I watched it crumble before my eyes and watched my heart break.
Was that both the peak and at the same time the worst part of your life of your 25 years on this earth?
Listen, I'm a Jets, Mets, Islanders fan. I'm used to it. But that being said, I'm not going to accept a first-round exit anymore. It is not.
Oh, wow.
I'm not accepting it. We have the team to do it. If we've ever had it, it's here now. Assuming we stay healthy and we keep on rolling the way we are, there is no reason why a first-round exit should happen.
I mean, the thing is, you could have a really good team, and the Islanders could be a really good team. They could finish second in the Metropolitan Division. Who knows? Maybe even give the Penguins for a run for the money, finish ahead of the Rangers. But still, it's a crapshoot in the NHL. I mean, every year, top seeds, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, even a 1 seed could get knocked out. Hopefully, this team is battle-tested, though. I'm using Jack Capuano words now, battle-tested. But hopefully they get there, and obviously bringing in guys like Boychuk, bringing in guys like Nick Leddy that have won not only playoff series, they've won Stanley Cups. So that's going to go much further because when that team played the Penguins a couple of years ago, there was pretty much no playoff experience on that team. So we're going to keep on moving on, and we're going to move over to Strome Cooking. So Ryan Strome recorded his first goal of the year against the Avalanche in the 6-0 rout Tuesday night at the Coliseum. Now has 10 points in 15 games, is a +5, playing the penalty kill. Connor, I want to start with you here. Is it time that we just say Ryan Strome is a reliable NHL player? He's not getting moved to the fourth line. He's not going to be buried there. And know what? He's not going to go down to the AHL when Bailey, who's due back, and Grabner come back. Ryan Strome is here to stay for the foreseeable future and beyond.
I definitely think he should be. I have a friend, I was texting him last night, told me he was concerned about Strome, said that maybe it's time to send him back to the AHL, let him tear it up down there. And I think anyone who agrees with that is just crazy. I mean, 10 points in 15 games, tied for 4th on the team in points. He's one of the best. I think he is the best possession player at even strength right now. If you look at the numbers, going to go to the fancy stats, but I'll save you guys on that one. He's 21 years old. He's not going to be putting up Okposo type numbers right now. You look back 2 years ago, Okposo had 4 goals in the lockout season. You give him time, he pans out. Ryan Strome, keep him in the NHL. He's going to be a good player.
What do you think, Britt?
Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with what Connor said. I think, I think he's a solid player. The 10 points in 15 games. I mean, everyone talked about.
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
I mean, everyone talked about depth. You have your star player who's not putting up points for a stretch of time, and then you have someone like, Strome who comes in. He's just a solid guy, averaging about 15 minutes a game. Just solid, just solid puck handling. Never really a huge problem on the ice, and I just think that no matter where we put him, we need to give him that sniper. We need to have a guy there who's ready to snipe it into the net on all of his beautiful setups. Guy's in the right place at the right time, and he's a smart player. We just need to give him that sniper to finish off some plays, get more assists on the board.
Talk about him now being on this SNL line that I will take credit for, because I think I had it out on Twitter first. I did. I'll say.
Oh man, we got Lockdown, we got SNL now.
No, Lockdown. It's Brittany. SNL. I mean, I'll show you the picture.
I'll give you that one.
I think that was me. But we talk about that line back together. But Brock Nelson, obviously playing so well. The top line, though, let's call it the carousel of left wingers here. And Kuhlman's on there, and I think people like Kuhlman. But after seeing what Vanek was able to do with the Poso and Tavares last year, it wants you craving more. And JT has not been great. His numbers are not off the charts right now. Connor, what do you think ultimately happens with that top line?
I think Kuhlman's going to stay, to be honest. He's not the guy that they need, and long-term, he's not going to be the first-time left winger that everyone's been asking for. But for right now, he's doing what the Islanders need out of that position. You saw Okposo and Tavares both kind of getting lazy on D early in the season. Throw Kuhlman on that line, who's very responsible on his back end, kind of cleans up the mess, ties up all the loose ends when those other two are on the ice. He's not going to put up the goals that you want on that left winger, but he's gonna complement what Tavares and Okposo lack.
Brett, what do you think? Who ends up on the top line long term, you think? Anyone on this team, or maybe it's outside the organization for all we know?
No, I'm with Connor on this, and I think Kuhlman's going to stay around for a while. I'm not sure that means that production is necessarily going to increase like we want it to, but I mean, I think that's where he's going to end up. I think that Capuano is going to start to even out the lines and make sure he might have some movement on the fourth line, and he's been really into disciplining his players, but I think Kuhlman's staying up there with Tavares and Okposo for a while at least.
It's amazing when they both got signed the same day, Kuhlman and Grabowski. Everyone just assumed that the two of them would be playing together the entire year based upon what they did together in Toronto, and they pretty much haven't played with each other at all. They've been split up the entire time. But listen, depth is there right now. Islanders can roll out at least 3 lines. I know everyone's not always happy when the fourth line is out there and when they're out there, but right now the depth is there and its scoring is coming from a lot of different places.
What I find interesting about Kuhlman is when he was brought in and announced within, I think it was 20 minutes that both him and Grabowski signed, a lot of people thought that Kuhlman was just kind of part of the package to get Grabowski over here. Everyone knew Grabo's name more than they did Nikolai Kuhlman.
Absolutely.
Kuhlman. And what you see now is everyone's just so impressed with his play because no one was expecting him to be such a solid workhorse type player, and it's fun to watch because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I knew what the Islanders were getting out of Kuhlman, and seeing other people kind of slowly but surely realize, hey, this guy's doing his job and he's doing well.
Because he signed a big contract. There wasn't a big disparity between what Grabowski got and what Kuhlman got. So people look at, right away you go to the goals, you go to the assists, and you go, wait, what exactly are they paying for? But when you watch him each and every game and you see the little type of plays he makes, how solid he is with the puck, how responsible he is defensively, the Islanders have professional players now. I mean, listen, a couple of years ago, I like Colin McDonald, but a couple of years ago he was a major part of this team, and he's not coming up anytime soon. Nothing against Colin McDonald. There's just way too much depth. There's too many forwards in front of him.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, so let's finish up our first episode here talking about Movember and whether or not it should be No Mo November. So for people who don't know, and I don't know how you don't at this point, but the Movember Foundation pretty much challenges men to sign up and grow mustaches during the month of November in an attempt to kind of create conversation about men's health. And Hockey Fights Cancer has been part of this for a number of years now. Overall, the foundation has raised over $550 million. Brittany's doing her fake mustache with her hair. But Connor, is this your look? Or
it's my look. I've been sporting the mustache since probably July.
Yeah, same.
Nothing. Yeah, same. I gotta ask, who do you guys go with, Clutterbuck or Grabner? Better mustache.
Is that a question? Clutterbuck has the whole attitude.
Exactly.
He has the attitude. Clutterbuck has that. That's Clutterbuck's thing. I'm sorry.
If you're asking facial hair, it's Clutterbuck. But if it's just mustache, I think Grabner takes it. He's got those twirls that girls dream about.
Oh yeah, that's actually what I dreamt about last night.
I'm going for that too. I mean, once I get that in, game over.
So Connor, is this are you refining this, or is this going to grow bigger?
No. I'm keeping it the way it is. I would look absolutely ridiculous.
Wider.
Going.
I got kind of this constant 5 o'clock shadow thing going on. Is there anything you can do to kind of make me more into the Movember feel?
How about not being Italian, for starters?
Okay.
Come on, man.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Nothing against Italians.
So, but
we have it.
But for the girls' perspective, let's say the non-hockey players, the guys that are walking around New York City, the metropolitan tri-state area right now, with growing out these mustaches and beards for a good cause, is that attractive?
No.
That's my gripe with Movember is I'll date a girl for 11 months out of the year. If I start to begin to growing a beard, she hates it. As soon as November 1st comes around, it's the sexiest thing in women's eyes. It's a double standard that I'll never understand.
Yeah, you must be running around with different girls, because I went on a date with a guy who tried that on, I think, November 3rd, and the entire time I sat there, and I think every fifth word that came out of my mouth was mustache.
Yeah, but you got to give him. But at the same time, he's kind of in that in-between I'm growing it out phase. You got to see him. You have to go for a second and third date to see what the finished product is. I mean, right there, he's in between.
That was
not shaving.
That's the finished product between him and I. That's finished right there. I mean, basically, I call it No Shame November for the girls who walk around with that, because, whoa, I mean, it's always like patchy and there are weird things going on, guys who shouldn't be growing it out or growing it out. It's like up here and over here, and there's nothing here. I don't know. It's not my thing.
All right. Well, listen, final words. Islanders playing, obviously, 2 games in Florida against the Panthers and the Lightning. Guys settle for a 1-1 split, or we're looking for both, looking for more? I mean, obviously, the Lightning are right now one of the top teams in the league, one of the top scoring teams in the league. Even without Victor Hedman, their top defenseman who's been out for quite a while now, Ben Bishop in goal, and obviously the Panthers playing a little bit better than people expected. You take 1-1, or the Hot Islanders should get more than that in Florida?
I think 2-0. I mean, you ask anyone, you need those 2 wins, but I'll go 1-1 if you take the loss if the win's over Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay, Britt.
Yeah, I don't get that. Sorry. I mean, we just went to Anaheim and L.A. and nobody expected that one, including myself, and I tend to be pretty positive. So beating the Stanley Cup champs and the Ducks, I say 2-0 or bust.
And credit to everyone here and a lot of other Islander fans out there, the amount of people that were on Twitter at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, overtime games, shootout games, powering through the next day. And I said it too. It's amazing when you win a couple games in a row. Like, if they would have lost, I would have been dragging it at work the next day. But I was kind of on a bit of a high for quite a while. So.
Hey, and I teach children during the day. They kept asking me why I was falling on my face, and I explained to them something very important happened the night before. Their parents may not have understood it, but it is what it is, right?
And it had nothing to do with the guy and his mustache either.
Oh, it definitely did not have to do with the guy and his mustache, because that was over way before the game started.
I really hope that guy doesn't stumble across this video.
I'll send it to him. Don't worry.
All right, well, that's it for our first ever edition of PTIsles. I hope you guys enjoy it. We hope to do these, if not weekly, maybe bi-weekly. Obviously, we appreciate all your feedback. Hashtag PTIsles. I'm at jbono611. Connor's at CMIslesBlog, at Apple Cider, 2 R's for Brittany. And obviously, follow the entire team on Twitter at IslesBlog, nyislesblog.com. I'm Joe Buono. Guys, thanks so much. This was great, and we'll talk to everyone quite soon.
Yep.
Take care.